Episode 3, The Physical Dimension, The Instrument. Series, The 7D Creator, Rising, Creating, Evolving. The Instrument. The physical dimension. Your body is your first creative tool, the creator's most overlooked asset. Welcome back to The 7D Creator. I want to start this episode with something that might surprise you. Of all 7 dimensions, this one, the physical dimension. This is the one that creators most consistently neglect, most consistently sacrifice, most consistently put last on the list while they put their work first. And I understand why. When you are building something that matters to you, when the creative fire is burning and the ideas are flowing and the work is calling, the last thing you want to do is stop. Sleep feels like a waste of time. Exercise feels like an interruption. Eating well feels like an inconvenience. The body becomes something you work around rather than something you work with. I have been there. I know that place intimately. And I want to tell you something that changed my entire relationship with my creativity. Your body is not separate from your creative work. Your body is your creative work. It is the instrument through which every idea, every vision, every piece of content, every creation passes on its way from the inside world to the outside world. A musician does not neglect their instrument. A painter does not leave their brushes to deteriorate. A singer does not abuse the voice that carries their art. And you, as a creator, cannot afford to neglect, deplete, or abandon the body that makes everything you create possible. Today we go into the physical dimension, and I promise you, this conversation is going to change the way you see your body forever. The body that creates. Let me ask you something honestly. When you are well rested, nourished, and physically alive, how does your creativity feel? And when you are exhausted, depleted, running on caffeine and willpower, how does your creativity feel? You already know the answer. Your body knows the answer. Your body has been trying to give you this answer for a long time. Creativity is not a purely mental experience. It is a full body experience. The best ideas, the ones that truly come from somewhere deep, rarely arrive at a desk at 2 a.m. when you are depleted and staring at a screen. They arrive in the shower, on a walk, in the moment just after waking, when your body is rested and your mind is quiet and something has space to rise. The physical state of your body creates the conditions for your creativity, or it destroys them. Think about breath. When you are anxious, contracted, stressed, your breathing is shallow. Your nervous system is in survival mode. And in survival mode, the creative brain is the last thing to be activated. You cannot create freely when your body believes it is under threat. But when you breathe deeply, when you move your body, when you are nourished and rested, when your nervous system feels safe, the creative brain opens, the connections fire, the ideas come, the flow states become possible. Your physical well-being is not a luxury for when the creative work is done. It is the precondition for the creative work being possible at all. The 7D creator understands this. They do not separate taking care of their body from taking care of their creativity. They are the same act. The story of the creator who ran their body into the ground. This story is uncomfortable, but it is true. And I think many of you will recognize parts of it. There was a creator who was deeply committed to their work. Genuinely so. They woke early and slept late. They skipped meals when a deadline called. They canceled movement practices to answer emails. They told themselves, just until this project is done, just until this launch is over, just until things slow down. But things never slowed down because the creator kept creating, kept launching, kept building. And every cycle of hustle, left less in the tank than the last one. The body kept giving, because bodies are extraordinarily generous, but it was also keeping score. The signs started small, the headaches that came more frequently, the sleep that never felt quite restorative enough, the mornings that required more caffeine to feel functional, the creative sessions that took longer to get into and produced less when they got there. And then one day, the body sent a message that could not be ignored. Not a subtle sign, a full stop. Illness, exhaustion, burnout. The body saying, in the only language it has left when everything else has been ignored, stop. And in the forced stillness of that stop, the Creator discovered something they had been running too fast to see. Their creativity had also stopped, not because the ideas were gone, but because the instrument through which the ideas expressed themselves was broken. You cannot create through a body that is in crisis. The body had been the Creator's greatest ally the entire time, and the Creator had treated it like an obstacle. The recovery of both the body and the creativity began with one decision: to treat the physical self not as a machine to be optimized, but as a living being to be honored. That decision changed everything. 3 physical practices for the Creator. Let me give you 3 physical practices that will transform your creative life. Not extreme practices, not impossible disciplines. Sustainable, loving, creative life-sustaining practices. Movement as creative medicine. Move your body every day, not for aesthetics, not for weight loss, for creativity, for the flood of oxygen that reaches your brain during physical movement and opens it in ways that sitting never can, for the processing that happens in the body during movement, the emotional releases, the idea connections, the problem solutions that arrive when your legs are moving and your mind is free. Walk, dance, run, stretch, swim, garden, play with your children. Whatever form of movement makes your body feel alive, do that thing. Every day, even for 20 minutes. Watch what it does to your creative output. I personally, walking in nature is one of my most sacred creative practices. Some of my best ideas, my deepest insights, my most transformational content came on a walk, not at a desk, on a walk. Sleep as creative investment. Sleep is not a break from your creative work. Sleep is where your creative work happens. The unconscious mind, the dreaming mind, is the most creative mind you have. It makes connections your conscious mind cannot see. It processes the problems you took to bed unsolved. It restores the neurological systems that creative work depends on. Protecting your sleep is protecting your creativity. Non-negotiable. Nourishment as creative fuel. What you put into your body, you get back in creative energy. This is not complicated. Food that is close to the earth, whole, real, nutritious, produces a different quality of energy than food that is processed, depleted, and chemically complex. You feel it, your creativity feels it. You do not have to be perfect. You do not have to be a nutritionist. You just have to pay attention. Notice how you feel, physically and creatively, after you eat different things. Your body will tell you what it needs. Listen to it. The interconnection. How the physical dimension feeds all the others. The physical dimension is the most tangible of all 7. You can feel it, measure it, track it. And its interconnection with the other dimensions is both direct and profound. When your spiritual dimension is alive, your body becomes sacred. You stop treating it as a tool to be used and start treating it as a temple to be honored. Faith and spirituality across cultures have always understood the body as holy. The 7D Creator lives this truth. When your occupational dimension is thriving, your physical energy sustains the demands of creative work. A nourished, rested, moving body can produce creative work at a level that a depleted one simply cannot access. Your body is your productivity. When your intellectual dimension is active, your brain, which is part of your body, needs specific care. Omega-3 fatty acids, hydration, sleep, rest from screens. The intellectual creator who neglects their brain's physical needs is working against themselves at a fundamental level. When your social dimension is rich, your body benefits from the neurological effects of genuine human connection. Laughter, touch, shared meals, physical presence with people you love. These are not soft benefits. They are measurable biological contributors to health and therefore to creative capacity. When your environmental dimension is intentional, the physical spaces you inhabit affect your body. Clean air, natural light, time outside, access to nature, these are not luxuries, they are physical needs. And creative work done in environments that meet those physical needs is qualitatively better. And when your emotional dimension is healthy, your body carries less of the physical burden of unprocessed emotion. Grief, anger, anxiety, shame, these are not just emotional experiences. They live in the body. They tighten the chest, shorten the breath, tense the muscles. Emotional health is physical health. They are inseparable. The body knows things the mind does not yet understand. The 7D creator learns to listen to it. The creator who rises through the body. I want to speak to the creator who is tired. Not the ordinary tired that a good night's sleep fixes. The deep tired, the bone tired, the creative exhaustion that makes you wonder if you have anything left to give. This is what I want to say to you. You are not empty. You are depleted. And those are not the same thing. Empty means the well is dry. Depleted means the well needs to be replenished. And wells, when they are given what they need, always fill again. The replenishment you need right now is probably simpler than you think. Sleep. A meal that nourishes you. A walk outside. A long, slow breath. A day of not producing anything, just being, just existing in your body without asking it to perform or create or deliver. Rest is not the enemy of creativity. Rest is where creativity is born. The creator who rises is the one who learns the rhythm, output and input, creating and restoring, giving and receiving, the inhale and the exhale. You cannot sustain the exhale without the inhale. Your body knows this. It has been trying to tell you. Listen to it. Rest when you need to rest. Move when you need to move. Nourish when you need nourishing. This is not weakness. This is the wisdom of a creator who intends to be creating for decades, not just years. Honor your instrument. It will honor you back. Your body is not a limitation on your creativity. It is the home of it. Treat it accordingly, with love, with attention, with the same care you give to your creative work, because they are ultimately the same thing. In episode 4, we go into the mind, into the intellectual dimension, the library, the laboratory, the landscape of ideas that every creator draws from and adds to. Your mind is extraordinary. Come find out how extraordinary. With love, Gladys. Thank you for spending this moment with me today. If this conversation moved you, share it. Not because I need the numbers, but because somewhere in your world there is a person who needs to hear exactly what you just heard. Be the reason they find it. And come find me at Smart Investor Leader, where we continue this journey together. Every dimension, every day, every version of you that is still becoming. See you there at www.smartinvestorleader.com.